It's 3 a.m. You weren't having a nightmare. You weren't cold. You didn't need water. You just opened your eyes, wide awake, like something inside you flipped a switch. And the strange part isn't that it happened, it's that it happens at the same time, almost every night. Your body didn't accidentally wake you up, it scheduled it. Most people assume this is anxiety, a racing mind, too much coffee, a symptom of something wrong. But what if it's not wrong at all? What if your body is doing exactly what it was built to do? And the problem isn't that it's waking you up. The problem is that you're not supposed to have gone straight to sleep in the first place. Let's go back. In 2001, a historian named Roger Ekirch published a paper that didn't make headlines the way it should have. He had spent 16 years inside libraries digging through court records, prayer books, diaries, medical texts, personal letters, hundreds of documents spanning centuries of human life. And buried in all of it, he kept finding the same two words. First sleep, second sleep. Not as a curiosity, not as an illness, as something completely ordinary. The way people talked about breakfast or sunset. A 14th century prayer manual instructed readers to say their nighttime prayers between first and second sleep. A 16th century French physician recommended couples use the window between sleeps for conception because the mind was rested and the body was calm. Court records from medieval England reference people waking in the night as a normal, unremarkable fact of life. Ekirch found over 500 references, across centuries, across countries, across every class of society. Before the industrial age, humans did not sleep in one block. They went to sleep shortly after dark, slept for roughly 4 hours, woke up for 1 to 2 hours, then slept again until dawn. This was not insomnia. This was the default human sleep pattern for most of recorded history, probably for most of human existence, and nobody had noticed. Because by the time historians were reading these texts, the pattern had already vanished. They assumed first sleep meant something else. They translated around it. The assumption that humans sleep in one continuous block was so deep that scholars rewrote ancient documents to match their own experience. Then science confirmed what history had been saying. In 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Wehr at the National Institute of Mental Health ran an experiment. He took volunteers and removed all artificial light from their lives, 14 hours of darkness every night. The way humans lived before electricity, before gas lamps, before cheap candles. Within weeks, without being asked, every single participant shifted into the same pattern, 4 hours of sleep. A quiet waking period of 1 to 3 hours, 4 more hours of sleep until morning. Nobody told them to do this. Nobody suggested it. It just happened. As if something ancient had been waiting inside them the whole time, held down by the pressure of electric light. But here's the part that changes everything. Wehr measured their hormone levels during that middle window. What he found wasn't a state of mild grogginess. The participants were producing elevated levels of prolactin, the same hormone released during deep meditation, the same hormone released after orgasm. They described the feeling as peaceful, deeply calm, almost trance-like, not the frustrating, half-awake state you experience when you can't sleep at 3 a.m. Something different, something that felt, by all accounts, like it was supposed to be happening. That window between first and second sleep wasn't dead time, it was its own distinct state of consciousness, one that most people alive today have never experienced. So, what did people actually do during it? Everything. Historical records describe visiting neighbors, lying in the dark and letting thoughts move without forcing them, writing, prayer. Couples talked in ways they didn't have time for during the day. People interpreted their dreams while they were still fresh, which physicians at the time considered medically important. A doctor's manual from the 1500s specifically recommended the window between sleeps as the best time to study and reflect. The mind was calm, the world was still. There was nothing to do except think. Then we lit everything up. In the 1600s, cities began installing street lamps. Paris first, under Louis XIV. London followed. Candles got cheaper. Gas lamps arrived in the 1800s. And in 1879, Edison commercialized the electric bulb. Within a generation, night changed completely. Not just darker to lighter. The entire structure of human time changed. The night that had belonged to fire and darkness and the quiet between sleeps became an extension of the day. People stayed up later, woke later, compressed everything into one long block, and the wakeful window disappeared. Not because it stopped being natural, because we stopped giving it room. Here's what that costs you now. The blue light from your phone at 11 p.m. tells your brain it's still afternoon. Melatonin production delays, your first sleep phase compresses, and somewhere in the middle of the night, your body reaches the end of what should have been first sleep and does exactly what it was designed to do. It wakes up, but instead of a calm, prolactin-soaked state of quiet reflection, you get a racing mind in a dark room. You check your phone, more blue light. Your brain gets more confused. You lie there frustrated, staring at the ceiling, convinced something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Researchers have found that people who spend just 1 week camping with no artificial light shift their melatonin cycles by nearly 2 hours. Their bodies start producing it at sunset instead of hours after. 300,000 years of programming reasserts itself in 7 days. Your body isn't malfunctioning at 3 a.m. It's surfacing. It's looking for the window that used to be there, the quiet space that your ancestors used to think, to feel, to exist without an agenda. We didn't just change when we sleep. We deleted an entire phase of human consciousness and replaced it with insomnia. And then we invented a diagnosis for it. So next time you wake at the same hour in the same dark, with no reason you can name, don't reach for your phone, don't run through tomorrow's list. Don't decide something is broken. Just lie there, like your ancestors did, in the dark, in the quiet, in the state your body has been trying to find its way back to for 300 years. Your brain knows what to do with the silence. It always has.